Region 6 East Berbice Quarantine is the third largest region in Guyana in terms of landmass. It is also one of the more highly populated areas. Region 6 could also be considered the bedrock for Guyana's agricultural sector. However, this region is yet to realize its optimum potential. On Guyana 411 this week, we take a look at some of the policies and programs being implemented by the government to advance the development of Region 6. Economic activities within the East Berbice Quarantine region are expected to improve significantly as the government invests in several areas. This is seen as necessary for raising the standard of living for the people of the region. It also fits hand in hand with government's emphasis on creating a good life for all by providing equal access to resources and opportunities.
Region 6 could be described as the heart of Guyana's agriculture sector, with rice and sugarcane being the main two crops. The region also produces a wide variety of cash crops. With these produce, there is significant potential in agro-processing. Manufacturing also holds untapped potential. The government plans to work with the people of Region 6 to exploit these and other areas. Seed capital would be provided to investors in the agriculture sector, and more specifically those in Berbice, to further develop the potential of the region. To this end, the administration intends to re-establish the Agricultural and Industrial Development Bank with a branch proposed for Region 6. With the coming on stream of a deepwater harbor and container port in the Berbice River, capacity will be increased for import of goods and the export of all commodities from Berbice and elsewhere.
While the Berbice Deepwater Harbor was an idea from the former administration, we feel it is a move in the right direction that would facilitate business to North America and Europe, and Berbice would be presented with a platform for greater trade across our eastern border with Suriname, with the completion of a bridge across the Quarantine River. But we must also look close at home. Right here, the business will gain from a reduction of the toll of the Berbice River Bridge, as I said.
The economic well-being of the sugar industry is critical to the protection of jobs and the growth of the economy, as well as the contribution it makes to the gross domestic product, exports and foreign exchange. The government is committed to supporting the reform efforts.
This government will also be looking to complement cost-effective production with enhanced processing and marketing, as well as establishing programs for technical and financial support. We will also look at making more lands available to cane farmers and to stimulate cane farmers' cooperatives. We believe that to keep the industry viable, we'll have to create ways to retain whatever manual labor is left and to diversify the industry to cultivate products more suitable to our bed field layouts. I say Gaisuco cannot be divorced from this effort, and it must be applauded for the lifeline support they have given to private cane farmers through the extension and extensive services provided them over the years.
Government is also facilitating the development of small and micro enterprises in Region 6. The administration, through its Ministry of Business, continues to support trade fairs and expositions aimed at allowing these small companies to market their products and expand their client base.
More significantly, this event presents a real opportunity for our small businesses to gain access to a volume of customers that they may not ordinarily encounter in an entire year of business. And this allows them to showcase their products and services and also to get valuable feedback that can be used to improve those products and those services and make them more competitive and of better quality.
The government believes that Berbice has great potential in the area of agro-processing and aquaculture, and development of these subsectors must be accelerated. With the introduction of the Agricultural Financial Bank mechanism, these areas of diversification will be further developed, as it is anticipated that the requisite financing will be available to potential investors.
Infrastructure is critical to development. The ease with which people can move from one point to another, how goods and produce are moved from farms to markets, all determine the speed at which development takes place. In this next piece, we look at what the government is doing to develop the infrastructure in Region 6.
After just about 6 months of office, there is evidence that the government is working to develop the infrastructure in Region 6. Roads are being rehabilitated and bridges and sluices constructed. This is all part of the government's plan to make sure that residents of the region enjoy a better quality of life.
When we look at all the other projects, you saw Let's Beholden Bridge. You went to Upper Quarantine, you saw the sluice that was built. You saw the sluice at Eversham. When I tried to do the emergency stopping of the salt water going into Blackbush. You saw other roads that was done. You saw the 219 bridges that was built, brand new bridges, recently. And this was done within 3 months, which was not possible in the 23 years, actually. All the infrastructure roads that we started, nothing was done there. And they moved themselves going into the, and going on television, Anil Nandalal, for example, and saying that, $260 million was given to the region, and nothing was done in the region. Now, there is no way that I can see right now that where you can dispute that.
There are farmers and other producers in Region 6 who sell their produce in other regions. Residents therefore have to use the Berbice Bridge, which can prove very expensive. Recognizing how costly it is to travel outside of the region, the government negotiated a reduction in the bridge toll. This will take effect from December 1. Cars and buses will be paying a new toll of $1,900 instead of $2,200. This is a 13.6% reduction. There is a 10% reduction in the toll for other categories of vehicles. The implementation of the reduction of the Berbice Bridge toll was done in order to satisfy the needs of the residents who travel on a daily basis to gain access for business, healthcare, and of course education. River taxis were introduced to traverse the Rosignol to New Amsterdam route. Thousands of commuters have used this far cheaper service as an alternative to the Berbice Bridge. Looking ahead, the region has a number of projects to be funded in the 2016 budget. Because Region 6 is a largely agricultural community, there will be a strong focus on canals so as to improve drainage and irrigation. Irrigational pumps will be looked at in areas where they were neglected. Recreational centers will receive attention. Already work has been started on community grounds.
So all those things are, we present to them in our budget, and I'm look forward that 2016, under my leadership as the REO, will be different. And I show people already, we started certain projects. You do not have to get money, you have to get commitment from people. And it's a commitment that will carry Berbice a very far way.
Berbice is known as the Asian County, but it is time for the Asian County to have modern infrastructure to support the sort of development that will lead to a good life for its residents.
Even as the new administration works to promote the quality, services, and sustainable physical and institutional infrastructure, there is also a coordinated effort to quell the growing feeling of insecurity and violence that residents in the region are experiencing.
A comprehensive public security plan for arresting crime and violence in the region is being implemented in phases. It emphasizes combating crime, regaining trust of the Guyana police force, and improving police investigative capabilities, recruitment standards, and training. Vehicles as well as equipment are being acquired to fight banditry, piracy, terrorism, and other violent crimes.
This is going to be, as I said in Parliament, not a T20 type of cricket. We have to play long term here. I do not want to have a scenario where we're going to portray that we are going to set up death squads and all kinds of other squads and Raja Khan squads. No, we have to professionalize and modernize our police force with technology and policemen with a capacity that could intelligently work out solutions to this high crime problem. We have to also have better recruits. The cadetship must come back on stream and help in that scenario. Our recruits must be, as I am trying to talk to the commissioner right now, he's not getting them, as he said, 5 subjects and more. It will be useful if we can have recruits with that kind, and English and maths together. So it is all these problems that is causing this thing to happen. And so it is going to be a long-term thing, not T20 cricket, but a test match, probably a test series, if I want to continue the analogy. It will take some time, but we will get there.
In recent times, residents in the region have expressed concerns over the Guyana Police Force's response to incidents of crime. The new strategy has several actions to make the force's operations in the region more accountable to the public.
We intend to do in the forces from this new administration rigorous background checks as to new recruits. It's important. We want quality policemen, and so we are going to vet in a better manner the recruits that are going to come into the police force. We feel that there must be better community police relationship. And though there might be a call for policing community groups not playing a major role, we'll have to tweak what the previous administration had so as to give it an input that is going to ensure that communities start respecting policemen, and policemen not only demanding the respect, but ensure that their conduct deserve the respect. It is only when a community respects policemen that they're going to share the information with them, that they're going to ensure that they want to come to court to testify, that whenever they see suspicious characters, they're not going to want to keep it to themselves, but they're going to ensure that the policemen know. And of course, when that information goes to the policemen, they're going to even gain greater respect when they act upon it.
There is also focus on providing the region with new and improved technologies to aid in the fight against criminal activities. Officers are also to receive training to enhance their capability.
We must not see the policemen as bullies or little Caesars within the community who harass and keep at bay the public and the community. No. We would like them to be embracing and working with their communities so that the entire theme of protect and serve is going to be realized in the communities where there are policemen, police stations, and so on.
Female officers specifically are being targeted to play a stronger leadership role in confronting issues such as gender and domestic violence, which are prevalent in the region.
The Ministry of Public Security is getting the full support of the Office of the President, the full support of Mr. Winston Jordan, Minister of Finance, and we are going to get the resources. It's not going to come in a one lump sum, huge sum. No, it is going to come in accordance with the needs and also the capacity of the Ministry of Finance to finance these things.
Other recently implemented crime-fighting activities include the injection of a special weapons and tactics team and a joint special operations group into the region. There is also now a special representative attached to the Office of the Prime Minister. This person works in the region liaising with the residents on matters of concern, including security. Government has also met with and restated its commitment to work with the many community policing groups within the region on crime detection and prevention.
Peculiar crime problems here in Berbice, one of which is piracy. And of course, I have been trying my best to see what can be some of the solutions to that. Practical solutions I want to see happen. And there were some suggestions that we allow the fishermen to be armed when they're going out to fish, And when they coming back, they ensure that the police take back the weapons and the ammunition when they're ready to go. Some such system. I am keen on something like that because when you're out in the ocean there, it's like you, in the olden times in America, you're out in the Midwest or the West, and you have your only 6 bullet revolver to defend yourself in the wilderness. Because it will be an extraordinarily difficult thing for us to say we're going to have Coast Guard vessels literally watching how you fish. It's not going to be easy.
This new security plan aims to bring about long-term tangible results that will guarantee a safer Region 6 and the country as a whole.
Access to comprehensive quality healthcare services is necessary in ensuring a good life for all citizens. As such, the government is moving aggressively to address the shortcomings in the healthcare system across the country. We look at what is being done in Region 6. Residents of Region 6 can look forward to better healthcare delivery as the government has been making strides to improve facilities throughout East Berbice quarantine. This year, $21.3 billion was allocated to the public health sector to provide quality and equitable healthcare delivery countrywide. Of this amount, $260 million was provided as capital budget for Region 6. This sum will cater for the completion of the outpatient building at the New Amsterdam Hospital and the upgrade of the theatre at the Skeldon Hospital, among other works.
The residents of Maron East Bank of Berbice, they have been complaining for years about not having access, and a health outreach only going there once a month. Comrades, we must change that. Comrades, our government will not do justice to the people if we don't reach out to the people from whichever area they are. We must make it, and we will make it, easy for persons to enjoy these services.
2 fully equipped ambulances was handed over to the Skeldon and New Amsterdam hospitals. The ambulances have modern equipment including monitors, stretchers, bed and oxygen lines. Over the last 6 months, Minister of Public Health Dr. George Norton has been familiarizing himself with the general operational conditions of hospitals and other medical institutions countrywide. When Minister Norton visited Region 6, he found that there were many deficiencies in the healthcare system.
Persons have great expectations. They have suffered for a long time and they want to see positive changes. And we have got to work. My ministry, my government will have to do something better than that. We can't continue along the same line. And while, I would have the most critical look at things, I'll have to be practical in my approach to better the conditions that we have.
Immediate actions was taken to restructure the administration of the Berbice Regional Health Service, which is responsible for the delivery of health care throughout the region. Minister Norton has also ordered the closure of the neonatal unit at the New Amsterdam Hospital for emergency renovation. Apart from there being no air-conditioned unit, there are several non-functioning incubators.
The New Amsterdam Hospital can be a model for so many other hospitals that are being built around the world, around the country, in terms of it being flat on one level, so the patients can ambulate easily. And I find that the wards are well positioned. There are some areas that are cramped for space, and in spite of that, like in the dental area, we have them working. In the X-ray area as well, there's no place for expansion there because of how it's built. We've seen in the operating theatre the floors can do well with some tiling and so on, and some other infrastructure needs to be corrected. But all in all, the hospital is much better than it was before. It's clean. That is one good thing about it. And I see the doctors working in fairly comfortable position. That is in the actual consultation room.
It was also observed that the National Psychiatric Hospital was also in a deplorable state. Subsequently, steps were taken to address the situation.
Right here in Berbice, we have the National Psychiatric Hospital. It's in a deplorable state. We believe it's under-resourced. And this government would tell you today that we are committed to ensuring the improvements of the National Psychiatric Hospital. We read a few days ago of two patients, one tragically losing his life there at New Amsterdam. And we also realize that the staff there are not equipped, hasn't been equipped for the past 20 years to properly manage those persons there. And the government has immediately put steps in place to ensure and set up a task force that is committed to looking in to that particular institution.
The sustainable development of Region 6 cannot be realized unless its residents are afforded the education needed to move the region forward. This must be tied to the potential of the region. We now turn our attention to plans of the Ministry of Education to advance this process.
The educational system in Region 6 is certainly playing its role in producing well-rounded individuals who can positively impact Guyana's development. The region is said to have a solid foundation in relation to nursery, primary and secondary education. But while this is so, the Education Ministry is making efforts to expand education delivery so that every child is afforded the opportunity.
We certainly have to spend some more time expanding our delivery in the areas such as Oriala, which are somewhat secluded from education along the coast, and certainly up the river, to ensure that there's seamless access. And so our plans are really centered around how you expand access in those areas so that there's equity, there's balance in relation to what is being offered in the more accessible coastal areas as opposed to those extended regions.
History has shown that the region has performed well over the years at the national and regional examinations. With the positive results, government is looking towards bettering students' performance by improving the quality of education delivered. This is being done by making sure there are well-trained teachers in the system.
Our primary and nursery teachers travel all the way to New Amsterdam, and that takes quite a bit of their time. And so if we can have a training center for them in that area, it'll certainly be a more effective and efficient kind of undertaking for them. And once we have that kind of balance across the region, I think we'll see more and more teachers being able to access and complete their training more effectively. And with the associate's degree and its complement at the university, I think we'll see a good system, a good flow of teachers moving right up through the higher levels of preparation in regard to teacher education and training.
Among the many plans for the further advancement of education in the region, it is anticipated that more focus will be placed on ensuring that students and teachers in Oriala Siparuta, the only two indigenous communities in the region, have equal access.
We are in the process of expanding our dormitory at Springlands, which is going to be able to accommodate a larger number of students coming from the Oriala Siparuta area. What we also need to do is to, and it's being proposed that we construct a dormitory in New Amsterdam to accommodate students coming from further up the river and along the bank. Now, once that is done, we'll go a long way in expanding access to discrete secondary education within the region.
Plans are also on stream to have ICT labs established in all the secondary schools in the region. This is in keeping with government's vision of ensuring students have access to modern technology to aid their learning process. Broad-based national consultations were recently held with ICT teachers.
We are now working on strengthening the delivery in that area, so that the ICT component is not just present as an appendage or an adjunct kind of facility to the schools, but that the entire school processes and procedures have some core ICT grounding, and that ICT can then be used to expand and support instruction and provide proper research base for teachers and students, and move education delivery, the teaching and learning process forward. And so that's the work we are doing currently.
Government will continue to work towards making sure that Region 6 education output continues to rise, as this will not only develop the region, but also it will reflect positively on Guyana as a whole.
This has brought us to the end of the Guyana 411 for this week. Remember, all our programs can be viewed on our website. You can also visit us on Facebook and on YouTube. As we go, we leave you with the view of the clean and beautiful Georgetown that is unfolding as Georgetown reclaims its title of the Garden City.